Welcome to Cryptid Crossroads 505. I'm Larry.
And I'm Vince,
Welcome to the show.
where we talk all things cryptid,
Sasquatch,
aliens,
hauntings.
and anything paranormal you would like to share with us.
You can reach us at cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com.
So settle in, open your mind, and enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to Cryptid Crossroads. We're in the studio doing it once again here in the beautiful 505. Give them a shout out, Vince.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I know we've been slacking a little, but you know what they say, life happens.
Life does happen. Yeah, we apologize for not putting out some episodes in the past few weeks, but we got wrapped up in, like my brother said, that thing called life that hits us every now and then. And
every now and then, and sometimes it hits us harder than normal.
That's right. But we're back doing it once again, and we're going to continue on our topic. So we're going to mix it up a little bit tonight. Maybe talking a little about aliens, a little about, Sasquatch, maybe haunting.
Aunties.
Yeah, well, aunties are always welcome, and but we're going to go ahead and get it started. As always, we always do a shout out to you, our faithful listeners. Thanks for coming back and hanging with us.
Man, it feels like forever since we did this.
It does. So here's to you. That is definitely anti-juice.
Woo! High grade octane.
That's right. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off. So what's been going on, Vince, since we've been away for a while?
Oh, let me think. Have we done a podcast since our last camping trip?
We have not.
Okay, so we did manage to get up to the Jemez.
We did.
Not our favorite spot. We did go for a ride to our spot, and it looked pretty squatchy. Yeah.
It did. You know what? We could tell that it's been abandoned by everybody but squatches. So we need to get back there.
Right. The normal trees in the road, tree movements.
Right.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked really good, but the spot we went to, I got a few modifications I'm going to do to my trailer. Now, if anyone out there listening knows anyone in Albuquerque who could flip an axle for me.
Right.
Or suggest somebody.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know what that would entail. So
Right. I've seen it done. I just don't have the tools or the space.
Right.
But anyway, we went up there, and it was nice to get up there. We actually got there the first day it opened. We caught wind of it opening, and we were there right when they opened it. And I'm guessing a lot of people did not hear that because we're pretty much on our own out there.
we were.
And nothing really. We did we talk about it? Because remember those footprints and stuff in the tree? I did put on the webpage.
Yeah, no, because we have not, since we've been up there, we have not done a podcast.
Okay.
So the podcast that was recently released was prior to us going up there.
Okay, so
That's how long it's been.
we found an interesting tree that had been laid against another one.
Right.
It was a good-sized tree, no stump, of course. This tree was carried there. Then going up the hill, they've been getting a lot of rain, so in the mud, there's some pretty good prints, but not a lot of detail because of the mud.
Right.
And when we were there, it rained. The first day, the mosquitoes killed us, but then after that, it pretty much rained till we left.
Yeah, it kept the mosquitoes at bay. But, we can't definitely say they were prints, but it was good. Did you get pictures?
Yeah, I put them on our
okay.
Facebook page.
So go to our Facebook page, Cryptid Crossroads 505. Check them out.
Right, but either way, it was nice to get up there. We need to go back.
Yeah. So now that we're talking that, I just want to bring something up because it's fresh on my mind. So the other night, I was watching UFO Witness. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have.
So I was real interested in one episode where the man said his dad worked for the federal government and he was called away to work like here in New Mexico and then a few other Air Force bases throughout the country, I guess because they were moving the alien technology. But he could never ask his dad where he was or what he was doing. There was a part that he was talking about where even the father's mother died and he couldn't come to the funeral because he was wrapped up in this top secret, I guess, project that they had him on. Anyway, I that's what caught my attention. I was like, what do you mean he couldn't come home to even bury his mom? But on his deathbed, he did tell his son that, in this universe, we're not alone. Those were his words to his son. He said, just know that. He said, I couldn't divulge it before, but we're not alone.
Right. And I believe that.
Right.
Now, since we're on that topic, a new story in the news. Did you see the pictures from the telescope?
I did.
Okay, so that's mind-blowing.
It
It's
is.
awesome.
Right.
And they got those crystal clear for I don't know how many light years away, but yet the security cam still can't focus on the face.
Right. We could see planets light years away, but we can't focus on a face from a person that robs a bank
Right.
5 feet away.
Yeah, but I mean that's just opens up the door for infinite possibilities.
It does.
As far as other life forms.
And if you think about it, I mean, space is so vast. There's so many more galaxies and star systems out there we haven't even touched.
Now, if
the
I'm not
surface of
mistaken, didn't somebody say that like space is still expanding?
Yeah, it's constantly growing, expanding. Stars are dying, stars are being created. It's a never-ending process. And we're just in the Milky Way, and we don't even know what a third of that's about.
Right.
If they do, share it with us. But many people have come forward and said that we're not alone. And how do these aliens get here? What's the technology? Is it wormholes? Whatnot? I don't know. I would like to know. But one thing is certain: whenever we start like military activity, start nuclear testing, they seem to show up.
Right. Right.
And I guess if you have a camera that has infrared, film the sky in the day and you'll be surprised what you catch.
Right. Right. I remember that photographer from Mexico. Is he the one?
Right, yeah, he's one of them.
Right.
On this UFO Witness, they did that as well. One guy did that, and he caught some pretty good footage. And, he said, wow, that's a plane, this is that. We identified some, and one at night, he said that could possibly be a satellite. But there were a couple of little footages that he played that he's like, I don't know what this is. And it made me think about when we go up to the mountain and some of the things we saw.
Right.
Those were not satellites. Those were not stars. So I get it.
Right, I do too. Now, you mentioned, and we've talked about this before when we do nuclear testing or almost weapons testing in general.
Right.
They show up. Now, either they're watching us from afar, like with high-powered telescopes.
Right.
They have some kind of sensors here, or they're living amongst us.
Yeah.
We've heard those theories too.
If they're out there and they've abducted people and the stories are true and they have a hybrid program, they're living amongst us.
Right.
They truly are. Then you go back to that theory about the blue bloods and, the Nephilim. So that is kind of like the alien connection. So they've been living among us for centuries.
Right, and people even take it to the Sasquatch connection,
Right.
But I mean, we can't dismiss it. We can't say it's true. We don't know. I mean, I would like to know.
I would love to know.
And it goes back to Planet X and
Yeah, Nibiru, the Planet X, the Planet Eater. There's so many theories out there that our listeners, if any of you have a theory that you want to shoot by us, come on, man, shoot it to us because we're open-minded. We go down every rabbit hole we can, and we invite you to go with us. But, aliens, recently I've been reading some topics on them. Of course, I read, a few books by some well-known authors. with alien technology, Zachariah Stitchens and all them out there. And so some of the things they propose are like just mind blowing. And if you read the book, it really pulls you in and it makes you think for yourself. It gets your thought process going that how did they know these things?
It gets your mind going because it makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. And, they talk about these tablets, the Mesopotamian tablets. If those tablets are true, then we had people from Planet X, ruling this country for damn near 46,000 years or more, if I remember right.
Right.
And some of the kings lived for thousands of years. And I'm like, how's that possible? Shit, I'm already 54 and I think I'm breaking down and not going to even see 70.
Right. Now, you mentioned kings, like a lot of the pharaohs, they had the elongated skulls.
Right.
And it's interesting because I was watching Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates.
Yes.
And they just discovered some new tombs in Egypt, somewhere in the Middle East. Now, they had a perfect mummy, but they would never show his full head.
Right.
But you look at his skull, they'd show so much of it, and it looked like it was going to go elongated.
You could tell it was probably an elongated skull.
Right. But why are they trying to hide that if it's true?
Well, they don't want people like us connecting it and say, well, let's pull some DNA from that bone.
Right. Or they don't want people panicking. What the hell?
Right. No, and that's why if you look at ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and the writings, and they always said that the pharaohs were the gods, and they all wore the hats to cover the elongated skull.
Mm-hmm.
And they said once they all died off, that other tribes would just wrap their children's head and try and to mimic the gods.
Right. It's a form of flattery.
That's right. So, if they were doing that and they're mimicking the features of their gods, then what does that say about these elongated skulls?
Right.
I mean, and we've seen what's been discovered down in Peru.
Right. Gaia, that's one of the best things about Gaia.
Right.
They're self-funded, so they could put out what they want.
That's right. And you could either call it bullshit or you could ride the train.
Yeah, I mean, we've already told you our stance. We weren't there, so we can't say it's bullshit.
You can, but here's the thing. They did, on the Nazca mummies, they did such scientific analysis that they can't prove it wrong. And what blew my mind is when they did the x-rays of the one, and it looked like she was carrying 3 eggs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. Right away in my mind, I went back to the reptilian theory.
Right. And she was the biggest one, the more human-like one, right?
She was, yeah. And then the 3 small ones, how can you make that shit up? I know you can, but these scientists took it to the extreme, and their theory is this is not of this earth, and it's real.
And we're talking about at the beginning of the podcast, the telescope and how it's discovering new galaxies, new planets, everything out there. We're exploring the universe, but yet we don't know what's in our forests. We don't know what's in our oceans. We don't know what's buried in our soil.
And here's the thing that Zachariah Stitchens and all these other authors have said, it's rooted in us. So if, of course, we always tell you we have a faith, we believe in God, but God created all things. So let's, the theory that they came down and they seeded us and created us. They said when they did that, it put that DNA gives us a longing that we're always searching to go back home like E.T. So that's maybe why we spend so much money looking into space and not here on Earth.
Right. Now, speaking of here on Earth and exploring, I've been watching Alaskan Triangle.
Right.
I know you've seen quite a few episodes. They have some really good ones about the Bigfoot. They believe there's still a race of giants that's alive and well, because Alaska is so we have not explored it. It's so unexplored.
It's vast.
Yeah, and it's thick. And,
It is.
Don't take that the wrong way, though. It's
Oh, no,
thick.
no, no. You know, sometimes,
But anyway,
sometimes you like something.
now
thick.
this race of giants, is it the red-haired giants, Bigfoot? We don't know because sightings and stories vary.
Yeah, they do.
Now I was watching, and they also believe that there's quite possibly woolly mammoths still alive. Now we hear about them in the permafrost pulling out bones and
Right.
stuff, like especially when they're gold mining and stuff. Now they had a native Alaskan, I don't know, Eskimo Inuit, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever they. But anyway, he came and he brought them a mammoth tusk, and it had fresh blood on it where they had pulled it off, and he said they pulled it off an animal. And some of the scientists had planted those seismic. What are they, sensors?
Sensors. They're seismic sensors.
And they could detect vibrations on the earth and stuff.
Right.
And one of them was smashed, and they saw the readings on their computer, and they're like, it must have been a big creature to smash it. So
Right.
that was one of the theories. Now they don't know if these animals have survived throughout time undetected, because they said in Siberia, mammoths have survived a lot longer than they thought, up until like a couple thousand years ago. Now, in Alaska, who knows? I mean, we don't know what's there.
No, we don't. And these creatures could still be alive. And now that you brought that up, I think recently, because they extracted intact mammoth, which was like frozen solid, and it had to be frozen rapidly because it's still intact. Not,
Right.
No
You're-
deterioration,
Like
no.
flash freezing.
Yes. So they took some of that DNA, and I think they were injecting it into an elephant in the zoo, and they were going to try and replicate it. They're actually pulling some Jurassic Park shit and trying to breed it. I'm like, well, why do you want to bring that back to life?
Right. I mean, it's gone. I mean, I understand it'd be exciting if you're a scientist, but
It'd be exciting,
But that's
but
kind of like playing God, you know?
Yeah. What if that damn thing grows up to be 3 stories high and you can't stop it?
Right. Now, another theory they were thinking about the woolly mammoth is, are they one of these creatures that could freeze? Just like you said, that thing was frozen almost instantly,
Right.
is intact perfectly. And then when it's thawed out, it could come to life.
Well, there's several creatures on this earth that can do that.
Right. And that's why they don't know enough about the woolly mammoth.
Right.
So they're like, maybe that happened, or maybe they've just been alive this whole time.
Good. Now that you say that, there was a video of, I think it was in Japan. They took a frozen fish out and threw it in the water, and it came back to life. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
It blew my mind. They pulled it out of the freezer. It's frozen, and they threw it in the water, and you're like, what are you doing? It came back to life, started swimming, and I was like, holy shit.
And that's cold-blooded creatures have that ability,
Right.
like snakes. And
Yeah.
now I don't know. They don't die. It slows down their metabolism, their heart
It's
rate, all
like
that.
a hibernation is
Right.
what they go into.
I mean, just look at bears. They're warm-blooded, but they could shut down all winter.
Right?
Shit, I'm lucky if I could shut down 8 hours at night.
You and me both. I try to shut down, but I can't.
Well, my mind shuts down, but my body don't.
So on the topic, I just came across, before you came, someone posted a video of a Florida lake, and they recorded some sounds. I thought about, man, should I upload those and we can let you all decide? But I don't know of any creature in the Florida swamps that makes those noises. I'll try and find it for you when we're done here, and I'll let
Okay.
you check it out. And then we may upload the audio so y'all could make up your own mind. But I'm convinced that, yeah, maybe that is a skunk ape there in the Florida swamps. But it kind of resembled some of the sounds we've heard from where we go, and like
Right.
the Sierra sounds.
Now we have a cousin, Tammy, who's in Florida. She has a skunk ape story. We're still waiting for her to come on.
Why hasn't she called us?
Well, have you seen some of her Facebook posts? She will reference a skunk ape. The skunk ape is real.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. Then we need her story.
We do.
Why haven't you reached out?
I was waiting for her to contact us because she said maybe she's going to talk to her daughter. Remember the last week time?
No. You have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
inquiring minds want to know.
That's right. We definitely want to know.
But anyway, back to the Alaskan Triangle. That's a good show, by the way, if you haven't seen it, because they take a scientific approach.
They do.
And if a woolly mammoth could survive, I mean, why not some great apes?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, all this, they say it goes back to like Gigantopithecus, and you know, that species is extinct. Well, is it really? We don't know.
Right.
I kind of want to say that the Squatches, seriously, after everything I hear, I'm like, are they really more like Neanderthal? Because they're like ape and human. And if you look at Neanderthal, if science is correct, they look like ape and human.
Right. But see, there's different theories. Like a lot of hunters who have had them in the crosshairs, they said they can't shoot because it's too human-like. But people say, like, even when you look into the eyes of a gorilla,
Right.
you have that same connection.
Right.
So who knows? Who knows? And I haven't had that broad daylight face-to-face encounter yet. I've had other encounters. You know, you and I have had other experiences, but
Right.
until we get that, I don't know. And what if we do have the encounter and it does look like a man with extra hair?
Right. No. It's... What can you do? You're like, should I shoot it? Should I not?
Yeah. Well, chances are we won't shoot it because we'll probably faint or, fill our drawers. Yeah.
We're gonna fill our drawers full of,
Yeah.
But no, I get it. But I got an email. I'm going to bring this up. So, we all switched over from Late Night to Larry. We're now Cryptid Crossroads. But I was checking some of my old emails. And Mr. Smith, you wrote us. You're the one in El Paso. You wrote us saying that you heard stories and you were going to go out to where is it? Radiate? Or I'm not even going to butcher it. But there's an area that you referenced and you asked us if we've ever been there. We have not been there. Now, you said you still want to come on the show, so, reach out to us, cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com. And I'm curious, because you said you were going to go out there and do recon, and if it looked promising that you were going to camp, I would like to know what you found out. So,
Right.
So if you listen to this, reach out to us.
Right. And that's what we do. We go recon. We're always looking for a good spot. But
Right.
For us, I mean, it's hard to leave our regular spot because we've had
It's
just so many things happen. It's hard to leave. And
Yeah.
And I'm a member of the Expedition Bigfoot fan page on Facebook.
right.
And I heard I read one comment that kind of struck home with me. They said, "Why are you guys running around the forest? Just make camp and let them come to you."
Right.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. We don't go nowhere.
In the day, we'll hike around, we'll look for stuff. But at night, we're there, and lo and behold, they come to us.
Right. And I think that is so true, because if you're out moving in the forest, all the nocturnal creatures that hear you, including Bigfoot, they're going to think that you could possibly be a predator, because that's when the predators hunt at night.
Right. So they're like, "I'm out of here."
Yep. They're like, I don't want no conflict tonight. I just ate some magic mushrooms. I'm just chilling, buzzing. So
I just had a handful of cornmeal.
right, I'm out, and and that's why they avoid everyone at night, and it's so hard to get a night sighting.
Right.
But look, everyone that's just at camp, popped up and relaxed in their tent, going to bed. How many encounters have you heard from that?
Or yeah, exactly. Or not even in bed, just being yourself.
Right.
They get curious. You've always heard that keyword, curious.
Yeah.
They want to come in and get a closer look.
And I think you're right. That's what it is, because curiosity killed the cat, and those are some big cats. They are curious.
Right. And they probably, because we've heard stuff in the daytime too.
Yeah.
We know they're out there in the day.
Yeah, of course.
Remember when we hiked up the hill? When we started getting to the top, we started hearing like rock cracking.
Yep.
So they might be there just watching us, because back where we go, we're usually the ones deepest back. We go the deepest.
Right. And they probably said those idiots are back again.
No, they're looking at us wondering, man, what do they eat? They're already fattened up for the winter, and it's only in summer.
They probably do. They're like, we're foraging for the berries and the nuts and whatever we could get. And they're like, that's why they're watching us. They want to know where we go eat.
What are they eating, man? They look like two walking pork chops.
Oh, but and that's a good question. I mean, because like we've talked about up there, there is so much resources for these creatures to survive.
Right.
Just the bushes of berries. I mean, up there, because there's, it's a desert, but they do have moisture, man. These bushes of berries get thick.
Now, especially this year, we got hella moisture up there because
They
after
did.
we left, they started closing it because of flooding.
Right. So
Now,
that's how much
now
moisture.
could you imagine the berries now?
Oh, man.
Now, a couple years ago, was it last year or the year before, right past the tunnels, remember that blackberry
Yep.
bush?
Yeah.
That thing was loaded. It was
Right.
loaded. So now with all the extra rain, there's probably food for everyone.
Yes. I mean, there's plenty of food up there for all the creatures that are roaming around. And we've heard stories that these Sasquatches, they eat whatever they can. Of course, you're gonna do what you got to do to
Omnivore,
survive.
like a bear.
Yeah, they do, and then you hear stories of them, killing deer. I wonder if they just forage on the nuts, berries, and what grows during the harvest period up until the winter, and then in the winter, is that when they focus more on like the protein from the deer?
I would imagine that's probably correct.
Yeah, because
They take advantage of what's available.
right, and it's like, think about it. We don't have to really travel a lot. We just got to follow these little berries where they're growing and all the things. So in the summertime, they could actually kind of chill.
Right.
Because it's like harvest.
Right.
All this is just grown and hanging,
They
waiting.
could kick back in the field and just graze all day.
Right. They could
And then
eat.
in the winter, it's like me at the bar and last call, and it's like, well, that's not what I prefer to eat, but if that's all that's available.
When you're on the hunt, you're on the
No, I'm
hunt.
just kidding. We don't go to the bar. We go to the brew pub.
That's right. But, it makes sense to me because once the snow falls and the cold weather and harvest is over and all these berries are done until spring and whatnot, the only food you have going is protein.
Right.
And I think that's the winters when they really, hunt. And I'll bet if we took all the sightings that people say they saw them, like take down a deer or whatnot, I'll bet it's in the winter.
Right. Or maybe not even in the winter, but like when all the berries are gone or before they appear.
Right.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before about people saying that the Sasquatch follow the food. But we've also said in the area we go to, the food is always there. Any time of year we go, even when the camping spots are closed, we always see deer, elk, rabbits, everything.
It's all there.
And there's a lake there. There's a hatchery. They could go take whatever they want.
They could have sushi every night if they want.
Right, and they close most of it up, so they have free run of the place. So,
They do.
and there's protein everywhere. That's why I don't believe that the ones here migrate.
And you're right. If you really think about it, they have everything they need.
They might travel in a big circle, like from where we are, maybe to Cuba,
Right.
maybe even up in Colorado,
Yeah.
back to Los Alamos. But I don't see them traveling too far because why would you?
Right. No, I think they're territorial. They have a territory that, it's like a rancher. They ride their fences to make sure there's no intruders, no unwanted company. But yeah, if you really think about it, they don't have to move. All the food is there. There's abundant resources up there.
Right.
And the reason is because it's a pathway for a lot of wildlife coming and going north and south.
Yep.
And yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yep. And I believe it, but we still got to go up there and prove our point.
Of course, because people say, "Well, that's not true."
Now, we still got a couple months. We're gonna head back up there. It's just life happens. I mean, we had some opportunities here in the summertime. We're old '80s children, so we're gonna go see some concerts and stuff. So
Yeah.
that might get in the way of our squatching a little, but we're definitely gonna go out there.
Yeah, there may be a weekend or two where we're banging our head.
But a lot of these '80s rockers look like squatches now.
Oh, they do. But, you know, it is what it is. One last thing before we go. I don't know if anyone's watched a movie called Season of the Witch. Have you seen it?
No.
It's an old movie with Nicolas Cage. And I was watching it the other night, and I was like, you know, if all this shit took place historically like they say it did, man, paranormal activity has been going on since the beginning of time.
And I believe it has.
I wonder if any of the Egyptians were walking through the tomb one night and got spooked.
They probably didn't get spooked because they were firm believers in the afterlife.
Right.
So that just cemented their beliefs.
It probably did. But, you know, I just, there's so many things that go through my mind. You know, I'll be watching TV and I get a great idea. But that just made me think, I'm like, this is like in medieval times. And you know, if you didn't believe what they believed, you were a warlock or a witch.
Right. Now, my opinion is the people who get the most scared are the ones who don't want to believe in the afterlife or whatever. Now, you and I have both had experiences.
Of course.
They opened our eyes, but we weren't screaming like little girls.
No, it just made me think, you know, it just, my experience made me think, what truly is it? Because you'll get one party that says, oh, it's demonic. And you'll get another party that says, oh, it's a loved one that passed, you know. I don't think that question can truly be answered for someone until they pass.
Right. That's what I was going to say. 'Cause, I mean, we've had experiences and we could say what we think it was or who we think it was,
Right.
but like you said, we will not know until our time comes.
Yeah. So, you
And
know,
then when our time comes, we're not going to, me and you, we're not going to ask, did you go visit us or this and that? We're going to say, Bigfoot, they're real, right?
right? no, my ghost is going to be haunting for us, trying to find out if they're real.
Right.
Anyway, you know, we're back. We're glad you're back joining us, and that's what we wanted to share with you tonight. And we hope you enjoyed it.
Right. And thanks to you who've been sending us texts and stuff,
right.
inquiring about when's your next.
Inquiring minds
Episode.
want to know, and it's because of you that we got off our butt and did another episode.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for listening. Hey, thanks for watching.
We hope all you YouTubers enjoyed the show.
That's right. And don't forget to reach out to us at cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com.
Peace.
Peace.